Okay. Hi guys, I'm going to start by, I'm going to do my orthographic projection drawing. This is our intro, and so we're working on this assignment. We watched a video. The video gave us dimensions that look like this. I'm going to have these on my other screen so that I know what I'm drawing, but just know that's what I'm following along with. So I'm going to start in AutoCAD. I'm going to start a new drawing. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to type in a rectangle. And my rectangle is going to be at 0, 0, and then I'm going to make it. Let me just start a new drawing. My rectangle is going to start at 0, 0. And then I'm just going to make it really big. So I'm going to make it 160 by 160. Which might seem like oddly large, but this will help. And then I'm going to have my object snaps on. That's this little like square area. It's F3. The only thing I'm going to have selected is endpoint, midpoint, intersection, extension, and perpendicular. We might want to turn on parallel eventually, but I'll let you know if that happens. So I'm going to start by creating a few layers. So the first layer I'm going to create is one called lines. Lines is I'm going to make that color magenta. I'm then going to create another layer called projected. Projected is also going to be magenta, except the line type isn't going to be continuous. I'm going to load a new line type in. I'm just going to find dashed on here. I'm going to make it dashed, okay, like this. And then the next layer I'm going to make is one called construction. My construction layer is also going to be dashed, but I'm going to make the color for it cyan. Then I need one more layer, and this layer is going to be called dimensions. And my dimensions layer is going to be just this darker blue. The line type for that is going to be continuous. So this is all the properties I have up. I have a 0 layer with white, my lines layer, which is magenta, projected, which is magenta and dashed, and then construction, which is cyan and dashed, and then dimensions, which is blue and continuous. Okay. From there, I'm going to type in L, and because I have my F3 on, I can select the midpoint of these rectangles. So there's the midpoint of these rectangles. And I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. I won't need it anymore. Now the way I'm going to change layers is up here. I'm just going to click on this, change it to lines. And then I'm going to start by drawing a line from here across to 75. Okay? That's the first line we have. From there, I'm going to draw another line. It's going to go here, up. Oh, last thing I need to have on. This is what I'm going to have on. This is called our tracking settings. I'm going to have this at 4590, and I'll explain why later. I'm going to go ahead and type a line. That's where that like dashed green line's coming from. And this first line we have is going to be 12. And then we're going to go across to 75 again. And then I'm going to go down again here. Okay? Then from there, I'm going to go up. And this one's going to go up 25. I'm going to go over 20. And then I can't connect this across yet because I don't know the distance here. So I'm actually going to go L. I'm going to go over 20. And now wherever that ends, I can connect those lines. The last lines we need are 25 over. So if I go from this end, if I go over 25, I'll go straight down from there. And then I'll go again over 25. And I'll go straight down again. So now we have, this is our very first part of our drawing. Next thing we need to do is start doing our construction lines. I'm going to change this from lines to construction. And then I'm just going to start typing an L, and I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom of this line. Okay? So there's no like rhyme or reason why we're doing this. It just needs to be long enough to go through the drawing.
No rush. I'm just setting my stuff down.
And then as you go across, you'll line these up. So now all my construction lines are drawn for at least this first part. Oh wait, except, yeah, all my construction, just kidding, be one more. Then we'll draw one from here to here. Okay, so there's all my first lines. Now I'm going to draw the next thing. I'm going to go back up here, change it from construction back to lines. And now I'm going to start at this top corner. You might need nearest on for this, but we're not going to want it on forever because it's going to get really annoying at some point. So I'm going to select nearest as nearest. And that way I can select any part of this blue line. I'm going to go up here. And this one's going to go straight across all the way here. Then I'm going to draw another line from here, and this one's going to go down. This is probably one where you want it, and this is going to be down 50. And then again, I'll go straight across to this projection line, and then I'm going to go up 12. Oh, that did not go correctly. This is where you want nearest off because it's going to get annoying at this point if we have nearest on. So I'm going to go from here, I'm going to go just straight up, and I'm going to go 12 up, and then across again to this line. Then I'm going to go down. If you have projected on, you can just drag across. You don't have to type anything in. And then I'm going to go across here again, and then up here again. Okay, so there's the first part. And then the next part we need to draw is we need to go down this way on this line. We go down 25, and then straight across. And then we need to do another line from here to this line, and then up. So there's our second part of our drawing. Now the next thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to go back to construction lines, and we're going to draw a diagonal line straight across at a 45-degree angle from here. As you can see, it lets me do that. And now all of our construction lines across from this are going to line up with that one. So once you get an X, there's going to be 4 of these ones.
I just traded Travis yeah, because I need more depth on running back.
And then from here, these lines over here we're going to draw across, and I'm going to make them line up with this line. Like that. We won't need these lines to go this far technically because our drawing's not going to be this big. It's just easier if they go past what I'm already doing. So there's that, and then I need to draw these other lines to go straight up from here to the very top up here. I think he's in the other room. And then you'll just go straight up from there. And then we have all of our construction lines drawn at the moment. Oh, and so now we're going to go back to regular lines. And we're going to draw the third shape. The third shape should be super easy to draw, actually. It's just going to go across like this, and then down to this line, across to this line. Should be relatively easy to draw these ones. And then we have a line going across from here to here. And then the last line type that we needed to use, the reason we made projected lines is because right here is actually a dashed line that's pink. So now that we're on projected lines, you notice this one's also dashed. So now we have our whole drawing done. There's everything. The last thing we need to do, which is actually super complicated, is dimensions. Now when I do dimensions, I need to start by doing one dimension. So I'm just going to start by doing, we need to have a dimension from here to here. This dimension is going to come out at 50. It's 50, but the problem is the text is super teeny tiny. So I'm going to just select the line, right? And then I'm going to right click and click properties. Once we open up properties, there's 2 things we need to do. The first thing in properties we need to do is we need to change the text height to 2. And we need to change the, under primary units, the precision to 0. Like that. Now once I've done that once, that's the last time we're going to have to do that. So now we're going to dimension all the rest of the lines. So I'm going to dimension this line. I'm going to dimension, I'm just going to keep typing in DIM. I'm going to mention this line, I need to dimension from here to here. We need to dimension from here to here. Oh, that was the wrong dimension. We need to dimension from here to here. And then we need to dimension from this top line over to this one. Once you've finished all these dimensions, you can just match the properties by selecting the line and clicking on Match Properties, and they will all follow that original dimension that I made. The last dimensions we need are the ones up here, so I'm going to dimension those now. We need this line dimensioned. We need from here to here dimensioned. And then we need each of these little segments of 25 dimensioned. Oh, here 10. So from here to here, from here to here, and then from here to here, and I think we might need one more. We actually might need, yeah, we need one more from here to here, and from here to here. Okay, again, and then I don't have to do the formatting again. I can just select the original one that I formatted, click up here, match properties, and then select these each one by one, and it will make my properties sit like that. If you missed how I changed the dimensions, you can go back and check. Make sure these aren't messed up, all weird. I'm gonna move this one actually, just so it's like obvious where I'm dimensioning. Okay, and then the last thing we need to do is, now that we're done with our drawing, we need to go into Layout 1. I'm gonna double click on this to center this image, and then I'm gonna click on Insert Blocks from Libraries, and I'm gonna go find my title block. You might have to go into Browse Block Libraries and go through this window to find your title block. But then I'm gonna click on this title block. It's gonna come in. I'm gonna type in 0,0. There's my title block centered on my layout. I'm gonna move this window up. And then once I move that window up, the last thing you need to do is select the title block, right click, go to block editor, and then change the name of the title. So this would be Ortho Intro. And then this date, if you click on here and right click, you can update the field and it will change it to today's date. I'll close that, save the changes, and then the last thing we're going to do is just print this after you've saved it as a DWG. So I would save as DWG to my ID number, whatever that is. And then after I've saved it as DWG, I'm going to go up here to plot and change this to Adobe General Documentation. And if I preview that, yours will look like this. So that's what your final results should look like. That's what you'll be submitting. And just make sure all of this is updated correctly. Okay, that's it.